Organizer march on Google. I don't even know I don't even know what to say right now. I don't even know how to. I think I might actually be I don't even think I know what to say. CNN just endorsed. They endorsed Antifa. CNN just endorsed Antifa. Okay, I'm actually. There's an article. I just quote tweeted the article. You guys can go read it. Oh my gosh. Oh, sweet mother of God. Sweet mother of God. CNN just endorsed Antifa. How many times? Okay. All right. Let me count to 10. I count to 10 fast. But sweet mother of God, CNN just endorsed Antifa. CNN just endorsed Antifa. CNN, who never before wrote an article about Antifa, has just finally written the first article in history, in their entire history, about Antifa. Right? I was the only person. I went every single day to CNN's website and I said, why isn't CNN writing about Antifa? Why didn't I write about Antifa? Why didn't CNN write about Antifa? I posted a screenshot every single day. I used to do this on CNN. Why aren't you writing about Antifa? Why won't you write about Antifa? So this article that CNN finally did today, they finally said, what is Antifa? Let's do an article. They had an article with the founder of Antifa, one of the current leaders of Antifa, talking all about all the great goodness that Antifa does, all the wonderful things that Antifa does, the wonderful, great things, how good Antifa is. It was a puff piece. They just did a puff piece endorsement, 5-star review of Antifa, who is a criminal terrorist hate group. A terrorist hate group that CNN just endorsed. And Navarro is on CNN right now talking about how great Antifa is as well. So we told you that CNN is ISIS. Now CNN has endorsed Antifa. CNN has turned the corner. They've turned the corner. And they're standing with a group that was literally burning American flags yesterday. Burning American flags over the weekend. CNN is standing with them. CNN is Antifa. Hashtag CNN is Antifa. CNN is Antifa because CNN stands with radical hate violence groups. That is Antifa. They didn't even mention that the state of New Jersey has declared them a terrorist organization. CNN just didn't seem to mention that little detail there, that the state of New Jersey, the Homeland Security Department of the state of New Jersey, declared Antifa a domestic terrorist organization. So hashtag CNN is Antifa. Probably because they're bankrolled by the same people. So now, with the first ever article they've done on CNN for Antifa, it's an endorsement. It's a puff piece. It's a 5-star glowing review that CNN has done of Antifa. So let's call the advertisers of CNN. Why don't we talk to them and and show them the images of what Antifa does, burning the American flag. What Antifa does, committing violence. Eric Clanton. CNN just endorsed Eric Clanton, the Antifa professor, the bike lock professor. That's what CNN just endorsed. Antifa, who was founded by Leon Trotsky. Antifa, who was founded by Leon Trotsky of the USSR, Leon Trotsky of the Communist Party of Russia. So CNN just endorsed a Russian terrorist organization. Antifa is a Russian terrorist organization. Everybody knows that Antifa is a Russian terrorist organization, but for some reason, CNN decided that they wanted to endorse them. Why would CNN endorse a Russian terrorist organization like Antifa? Everybody knows. You can look it up on their Wikipedia page. So when is Brian Stelter going to disavow? Not only do they not disavow this, they've actually come out and endorsed Antifa. They didn't even mention, finally, at the very end of the article, you have to read all the way through this thing. You have to read all the way through this article, and then you find out, and then it said, some members of the controversial, they described them as a protest organization. They described them as just wanting to have their voices heard. They just wanted to let people know what was going on. They just endorsed Antifa. CNN endorsed Antifa. They gave them a 5-star glowing review. So our hashtag here is CNN. Absolutely what we're going to be doing, because it's insanity, complete insanity what's going on. How could Antifa be a regular, hold on a second guys, camera trouble, coming back, 1 second. There we are. CNN has endorsed Antifa. Share this out, guys. Please get this out to everybody. Everybody needs to hear this. CNN just endorsed Russian terrorist organization, Antifa. This is complete insanity, but this is what's happening. CNN is basically like the anti-Tutsi radio during the Rwandan genocide at this point, because that is what they're trying to do. So hashtag CNN is Antifa. CNN is Antifa. Why did CNN endorse Russian terrorist organization Antifa? Antifa was founded by Leon Trotsky of the Russian Communist Party. So why did CNN just endorse them? Why would they do that? This is insane. Complete insanity. CNN wants you dead. If you're a Trump supporter, Jake Tapper, okay, Jake Tapper, remember? He was doing Captain America, punch a Nazi, just punch everybody, just all the violence, everything. This was all part of their plan. This was all planned out. They were Bolsheviks. They completely, everyone's saying, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Jack, where's the proof? How can you? I quoted their article. It's an article up at CNN.com. I quote tweeted it before and posted it to my Twitter page before I put up the Periscope, as I do every time I announce something on Periscope. Every time I announce something, I turn around and put it out on Periscope, on Twitter first, and then I do a Periscope to let everybody know. CNN wants you dead. CNN has endorsed a Russian terrorist organization known as Antifa. They're saying, oh, they're just, they're with their First Amendment, and sometimes they dress in black, and they have direct action, but they're not so bad, they're okay, they're not that bad. No, CNN needs to say they are a domestic terrorist organization, and that there are American government agencies that have declared them a domestic terrorist organization. Simple. They are a domestic terrorist organization, and if you call them anything other than that, you are simply wrong. You are fake news. You're not just fake news, you are actually perpetuating violence. You're perpetuating genocide like the Rwandan radio stations during that time by ginning up hatred, completely ginning up hatred against the other side. Hatred, violence, one side against the other, tribalism. That's what CNN is doing. That's why they're saying, what did Rick Wilson, who's a CNN contributor, he said that you should lynch everyone, that all Trump supporters should be lynched. Rick Wilson said that all Trump supporters should be lynched. He said that today. Go look at his Twitter account. You don't believe me? Go look at Rick Wilson's Twitter account. He said that all Trump supporters should be lynched. And he's a CNN contributor. He is a CNN contributor, so that's what he said. So why are they saying this stuff? Why are they saying this stuff today? Why did CNN endorse a Russian terrorist organization? This is insane. This is completely insane. This is what they're doing. Controlled chaos. Divide and conquer. It's 4D warfare, folks. I'm writing a book on this. I'm writing a book on 4D warfare, and I'm letting people know this. They're using the 4D warfare tactic of demonizing your opponents. You're demonizing your opponents because they want them all to look like because they were demonizing all Trump supporters, right? They're demonizing all Trump supporters, but then they turned around but because Antifa was getting so big, Antifa was becoming too much of a story. The power of social media and us turning back and say, why do you refuse to talk about Antifa? Why do you refuse to denounce Antifa? Why do you refuse to denounce Eric Clanton? Why have you never even reported on them? So they finally, it got so big that they had to report something. So they had to report something, and what they did was they gave them a glowing puff piece review. They endorsed them. They gave them a complete endorsement today. 5-star. 5-star glowing review of Antifa. Destabilization. This is all part of the deep state coup. This is all part of everything that they're trying to do with this. That's why we need to stop this. That's why people need to wake up to what is going on. We need to fight for our country. This is what is coming down against us. The liberal propaganda, the absolute left-wing propaganda. Why would they not denounce Antifa? Why would they not denounce? Why would they ever come out and write an article and say, what is the Trump movement? What is the new right? You know, let's talk to Jack Posobiec. Let's sit down and see what's going on with his organization, his movement, and his talk about his talk and what his political beliefs are. They've never said that to me. They've never once come and said that, hey Jack, I want to sit down and talk about what's going on. No, not at all. Not surprised whatsoever. Complete endorsement of Antifa. Why won't CNN denounce? Why won't CNN denounce or condemn Antifa? Denounce or condemn Eric Clanton, the Antifa professor that was beating people in the head with a bike lock? Why would you, how stupid do you have to be to endorse an organization that's beating people in the heads with bike locks? How dumb, how stupid do you have to be? You could be, an 8-year-old would understand this. An 8-year-old would understand that you don't, when someone is beating people in the head with bike locks, wearing black masks, literally burning American flags. They're endorsing the flag burner, throwing urine. They threw urine on poor Katie Couric. All right, poor little Katie Couric, former cheerleader, running around calling herself a journalist. Look, I'll give Katie Couric props, at least, for going there. They threw urine on Katie Couric. They threw urine on her. An 8-year-old would understand that. The new right is top tier. The new right is top keck. Okay? That's what's going on tonight. Because we understand what's going on here, and we're calling it out when we see it. We're calling it out when we see it. And now we're seeing that CNN is endorsing the Russian terrorist organization, communist organization of Antifa. It is disgusting. It's completely disgusting. What are people saying on here? What are people? Rick Wilson, all of these people, lynch all Trump supporters. That's what Rick Wilson said today. Why would Rick Wilson's... So CNN, we told you before that CNN is a terrorist organization. CNN also had a guy on last week. Don't forget this, guys. CNN had Philip Mudd on last week. Philip Mudd, who's a former deputy for Robert Mueller. He said on CNN that it's time for the deep state to kill the president. He actually called for the assassination of our president on CNN. He actually called for that. The assassination of our president on CNN. And Jake Tapper said, sure that's what you want? You really want the deep state to kill him? Is that really what you want? And he turned around and he did, he's like, yeah, absolutely. He doubled down. So Mudd doubled down on it. Completely doubled down. So there have people on calling for the assassination of our president. CNN then goes and starts endorsing these radical terrorist organizations, Russian terrorist organizations of Antifa. Guys, that's how Antifa was founded. People don't know this. The Bolsheviks would go around pushing back on people. They would infiltrate these organizations in Germany, in Austria, in Poland, in Italy, and try to destabilize the government. They would try to destabilize the government there. They would be funded by the Russian communists. The Russian communists would be the ones who did this, okay? So when they turned around, they would say, boom, this was done by you. So then when they would destabilize this, when they would destabilize the government, they were then brought in and say, look, it wasn't about Antifa. There's no win in this for Antifa, okay? There's no win whatsoever. What they would turn around and do is say, well, I guess you can't deal with the problems you have in the streets. You can't deal with any of this stuff. So they would then institute a coup. They would institute a coup of the government in power. Okay? That's what happened in Russia. That's how the Bolsheviks took over Russia. That's what happened at that time. Okay? So now the deep state is using the same forces, the same exact forces of Antifa, of the Richard Spencer and Jason Kessler, okay, to destabilize our country. They're trying to destabilize our movement. They're trying to destabilize who we are. They're trying, all of this is done to discredit President Trump. I was on the Hagman report. I was on Hagman and Hagman earlier tonight. I laid this all out. I said, guys, here's what happens, okay? First, they said, all of this is about discrediting Trump. All of this is about discrediting Trump, okay? What they would say is, number one, oh, well, Trump didn't win the popular vote. Hillary won the popular vote. And number two, they said, remember they said the Electoral College is going to revolt. We have to revolt and make them stop. Trump isn't the real president. Hashtag not my president. Anti-Trump rallies. Remember, and now they're doing them again. They're doing the anti-Trump rallies at Trump Tower right now. The idiots. These people without jobs. These people who don't work for a living. These people who do nothing. Then they would turn around and say, then they were doing the recount. You remember all this? And then finally they turned to, oh, well, you know what? Trump is a Russian. That's what it is. He's a Russian agent. He's a Russian agent. And that's how it's got to go. Well, okay, so do you have any evidence? Do you have any actual evidence that he has Russian connections, Russian ties, that he's a Russian agent? Do you have any, actual evidence to back that up? Well, no. So now they're going back to Trump as a Nazi. They're going back to the Trump as a Nazi timeline and all this stuff. And it's a joke. Hey, yeah. So I wanted to get the news away. Sorry so much. People have been giving me super hearts. I haven't been giving shout outs. I apologize for that. Let me do it as I can. Let's see. Randy Haney, thank you so much for your super heart. Major Domo, thank you so much for your super heart. Phil, Lauren, Christy chats too, and Todd, Base Todd, thank you so much. Also got some super hearts in from Stephanie Costello, Margaret Eaton, and Jen Sov. I wanted to say thank you so much for that because I really appreciate what you guys are doing so much. I appreciate your support because we wouldn't be here. Laurel720, thank you so much because I wouldn't be able to do this without your guys' support, okay? We thank you. Oh, Cindy Somer, PH Floyd. Now there's more super hearts coming in. Oh man, I gotta keep up. Thank you so much for your super hearts, guys. Christy, yeah, thank you so much, and everyone who's tapping your hearts, I really appreciate that. I appreciate your support. Manfreeze, you're always here, man. Thank you so much for your super heart. Because there's so much going on. Yeah, people are acting like it's not 2 months ago, just 2 months ago. Oh, thank you so much. I love you guys too. Today is the 2-month anniversary of the Steve Scalise shooting. The 2-month anniversary of the Steve Scalise shooting, right? How is the media not talking about this today? The media isn't talking about it. They're completely covering up the fact that this guy, James T. Hodgkinson, was someone, super heart from Lori Poso, from Mom. Thanks, Mom. So the fact that James T. Hodgkinson was shot, along with 3 other congressmen, shot at a baseball practice at their event, that they're completely covering it up. They're not doing anything about it. Why isn't the media talking about the fact that a left-wing terrorist committed assassination attempts on congressmen? But we're not going to talk about him. It was news for like a day. And then people just focused on Steve Scalise's condition. They totally tried to disassociate themselves when they saw that connection was connected to the killings, was connected to the shootings, okay? When do I think the shooting starts? Guys, I'm sorry, but it's already started. The shootings have already started. James T. Hodgkinson, that was the opening shots. The opening shots were fired by the left-wing terrorist, James T. Hodgkinson. They never called him a terrorist. Never once called him a terrorist. He actually tried to assassinate people Annalie Hogan, thank you for your super heart. They actually tried to assassinate our elected congressman, and they did nothing about it. They did absolutely nothing. It is outrageous, the conduct of our mainstream media. I've been saying it all day, and now that the Communist News Network, the Clinton News Network, has come back and said that they are endorsing Antifa, they have now endorsed a civil war in the United States. CNN wants to cover a civil war, and they are fanning the flames of it. CNN wants to see a civil war take place within the borders of the United States of America. That's what they want to happen, and that's what they're pushing for. That is exactly what they're pushing for. Ring of Tree, thank you so much for your super heart as well. There were a few people, a couple super hearts I missed. What can we do? Well, guys, what can we do? We have to push back. We have to push back and go on offense. We have to go on offense and call out terrorist organizations like Antifa. We have to go on offense and say, why are you endorsing terrorism? Why is CNN endorsing terrorism? We have to hold their feet to the fire peacefully and rhetorically, but we need to let them know what is going on. We need to stop them from what they're doing. Duke Christie, thank you so much. Love you guys. Love you guys. Annalie Hogan, thank you so much as well. We're standing up for ourselves. We're standing up against these crazy fringe groups like the alt-right. Crazy fringe groups that don't have any place in American society. These violent groups that have no place whatsoever in our discourse, in our politics. They have nothing to do with it. So we are going to start investigating you, CNN. We are going to start investigating who you are. We are going to start investigating where you get your orders from. We are not going to stop. We are not going to stop investigating Antifa. We are not going to stop investigating them, not investigating who they are, not holding their feet to the fire. So the hashtag is CNN is Antifa. Get it out there and make sure everybody sees it. Make sure everybody sees the fact that CNN has endorsed the domestic terrorist group Antifa.